enjoy learning!
Hello everyone! Welcome to our Quarter 1 Week 5 lesson in Mathematics 8, which is all about graphing linear equation into variables. So it's me again, Ma'am Mel, your Mathematics 8 teacher. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy learning! For today's session, our most essential learning competencies are the first one, uses of APE and MPE. So APE stands for addition property of equality and MPE stands for multiplication property of equality. And then the second one writes the linear equation AX plus BY is equal to C in the form Y is equal to MX plus B and vice versa. And then for the last learning competency, we have graphs a linear equation given. The first one, any 2 points. The second one, the x and y intercepts. And the last one is the slope and a point on the line. Let us recall the properties of equality that will help you solve linear equations into variables. So among which are the addition property of equality and the multiplication property of equality. So let us discuss first, or let us recall first, the addition property of equality. So it states that adding the same number to each side of an equation gives us an equivalent equation. So if A, B, and C are real numbers, and A is equal to B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C, or A minus C is equal to B minus C. So that is all about the addition property of equality. Okay, so let us have the multiplication property of equality. So in this property of equality, it states that multiplying both sides of the equation with the same number gives us an equivalent equation. So say for example, if A, B, and C are real numbers, and A is equal to B, then A times C is equal to B times C, or A over C is equal to B over C. So later on, we will apply that on our lesson for this afternoon. So these properties of equality are used to change the standard form of linear equation into variables. So ito yung ating standard form ng linear equation, which is AX plus BY is equal to C into the slope-intercept form of the equation, which is Y is equal to MX plus B. So always remember that the slope-intercept form is Y is equal to MX plus B, where M, this is our M, is the slope, and B, that is our B, or the constant term, that is our y-intercept. So the y-intercept is the value of y where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, so on the next slide, we will discuss different examples on which we can apply the properties of equality. Let us have the first example. Change y minus x is equal to 4 to slope-intercept form, and then let us determine the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, let's have the first step. So let us write our equation to be written into slope-intercept form. So by the way, what is the slope-intercept form? Okay, very good. We have y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so since we already know the properties of equality, the first process that we need to use in order to rewrite the given equation into slope-intercept form is to use the properties of equality. So in this problem, we will use the addition property of equality. Okay, let us write. We have APE, or the addition property of equality. Let us have y minus x. This is y minus x, and then we need to add x. Okay, so since we apply the addition property of equality, we need to add x to the both sides of the equation. So bakit tayo nag-add dito ng x? In order to eliminate this negative x. Kasi 'di ba, we have y is equal to mx plus b. So therefore, dun sa left side ng ating equation, dapat ang ating remaining variable lang ay y. Okay, so since we added x to the both sides of the equation, it does not affect the equality of the equation kasi parehas naman natin silang inadan o dinagdagan ng x. Okay, let us have this. So since nag-add ako dito ng x, we have y minus x plus x. We can cancel this. So pwede na natin siyang makancel. Kasi 'di ba? Negative x plus x, that is 0. Okay, so since 0 na siya, our remaining variable on the left side of the equation will be y. So let us write, yes, we have y is equal to x plus 4. So we cannot add x to our 4 because this x is a variable and 4 is a constant. So that will be our answer. So as you can see, it is already written in y is equal to mx plus b. Now, since we already rewrite the given equation into slope-intercept form, we can determine now the slope and the y-intercept. By the way, what is our slope? Diba ang slope natin ay yung m? So yung m, ibig sabihin nun, nandito siya. M is the numerical coefficient of our variable x. And what is the numerical coefficient of this variable x? Anyone? Okay, correct. So the numerical coefficient of this variable x is 1. So therefore, the slope is the coefficient of the variable x, the numerical coefficient of the variable x. Therefore, m or the slope is equal to 1. How about our y-intercept? Yes, so it is obviously written on our presentation that the y-intercept is the constant term. And what is our constant term? The constant term is positive 4. So therefore, our y-intercept, this will be read as y-intercept, is equal to 4. Okay, so I hope naintindihan nyo yung pagkuha natin ng slope and y-intercept, and of course, how to change the equation into slope-intercept form using the addition property of equality. Okay, so on the next slide, let us use the easiest way on how to change the given equation. So, same equation tayo into slope-intercept form, and then let us also determine the slope and the y-intercept. So, let us have this. Again, we will write y minus x is equal to 4. Now, let us write the slope-intercept form. So, the slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. So, pwede namang hindi natin i-apply ang APE. Ang gamitin natin is the easiest way kung paano ba natin ma-rewrite. So, let us follow this slope-intercept form. Yan. Lalagay natin. Yan. Anong nangyayari dito? So, yung negative x, ililipat natin to the other side of the equation. So, since siya negative x, it becomes positive x. So, let us have this. Y. Ito yung y. And then, equal sign kasi susundan natin itong ating slope-intercept form is equal to, yan, ililipat natin sa negative x to the other side of the equation. So, it becomes positive x. And then, since nandito na sa right side ng equation natin ng 4, we can write positive 4. So now, naka-rewrite na siya into slope-intercept form. We have y is equal to x plus 4. So, diba? Madali nating nailipat kasi you already know our slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. So, in that case, we need to identify or we need to determine also the slope and the y-intercept. So, again, what will be our slope? Yes, the numerical coefficient of the variable x. What will be our, or what is the value of our y-intercept? Very good. That is the constant term, which is 4. So let us find out our values of the slope and the y-intercept. So again, the slope is the coefficient or numerical coefficient of variable x. Therefore, the slope is equal to 1. And the y-intercept is the constant, which is 4. Okay, now, so as you can see, same answer lang din ang nakuha natin doon sa una nating process at dito sa ating second process. So at least we applied the properties of equality. We also apply the easiest way in order to rewrite the given equation into the slope-intercept form. Let us have the second example. We have changed 2x plus 3y is equal to 9 to slope-intercept form. And we need to find the slope or to determine the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, now, so again, let us write our equation. So we have 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. So in that case, the first process is to apply the properties of equality. So pwede natin i-apply. Pakikita ko sa inyo dito kung paano natin i-apply yung properties of equality. So in that case, we need to apply first the addition property of equality. So we have APE and the process is subtraction. Kasi diba, dun sa ating definition of addition property of equality, we can add or we can subtract a certain variable or a constant number to the both sides of the equation. Because it does not affect the equality of the equation kapag parehas natin ginawa to the both sides of the equation. So let us have this. We have 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. So syempre, kailangan mawala yung 2x para ang matira na lang ay yung variable y sa ating left side. So therefore, we need to subtract both sides of the equation by negative 2x. So kailangan nating i-subtract ang negative 2x to the both side of the equation. So again, it does not affect the equality of the equation kasi parehas natin silang isusubtract ng negative 2x. Or parehas tayo magsusubtract ng 2x. Okay, going back. So we have 2x minus 2x. So syempre, cancelled na yun kasi 0 na yun. Okay, so therefore, our remaining term will become positive 3y. Okay, ito yon. Lalagyan ko ng line, yan. And then, let us have this, negative 2x plus 9. Again, we cannot combine these two given. So, we just need to copy. So, let us rewrite. We have negative 2x plus 9. Okay, so since ang ating numerical coefficient of variable y ay hindi pa 1, kasi diba dapat sa y is equal to mx plus b, ang y, ang numerical coefficient niya ay 1. So as you can see, meron tayong numerical coefficient na positive 3. So we need to delete or we need to divide both sides of the equation by positive 3 to eliminate our numerical coefficient, which is 3. So now, since we need to eliminate 3 to this variable, kailangan nating tagtagin at dapat ang numerical coefficient ng y ay 1 na lang, we need to apply the multiplication property of equality. So let us apply. Okay, look at this. Let us write. Okay, so we have 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. Galing lang siya dito. So it becomes 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. So anong gagawin natin? In order to eliminate 3, we can divide both sides by 3 or we can multiply both sides by 1/3. Okay, the reciprocal of 3. So the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So since we need to multiply that, we can cancel 3 and then 3. Okay, so the remaining term now is 1. So 1 times y, that is y. Okay, the same process. Kung nag-multiply tayo dito ng 1/3, we need to multiply the other side of the equation by 1/3 also. Para hindi maapektuhan yung equality ng equation. So let us multiply. We have 1/3 times negative 2x. We need to multiply this. So it becomes negative 2x over 3. So that is our answer. So we just need to multiply 1 to our negative 2x. So it becomes negative 2x. And then copy our denominator, which is 3. Okay, the next one. Ito naman ang i-multiply natin sa positive 9. So 1/3 times 9, meron silang divisibility, which is 3. So pwede natin itong i-cancel. It becomes 1. And then 9 divided by 3, it becomes 2. So let us copy. It becomes 3. Okay, so aking i-erase. Ayan. Okay, so it becomes 3. So, we have 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Yan. Then 1 times 3, we have positive 3. So, that will be our answer. Now, look at this given equation. Is it already written in slope-intercept form? Yes, of course, because it is written in y is equal to, okay, y is equal to mx, ang m natin, numerical coefficient ng variable x, plus b, ang b natin, that is the constant term. So, it is already written in slope-intercept form. So, now, we can easily identify or find the slope and the y-intercept. Now, what will be our slope? Okay, so our slope is negative 2 over 3. Okay, so that will be our slope, negative 2 over 3. And what will be our y-intercept? Very good. That is positive 3. Okay, now, so let us have our conclusion now. The slope is equal to, so that will be read as slope, is equal to negative 2/3. And the y-intercept, which is our b, is equal to positive 3. Okay, so let's have another way in order for you to easy find out or for you to rewrite the slope-intercept form. So ito yung easiest way din natin. So gaya nung ginamit natin kanina. And after that, we can apply or we can find or determine the slope and the y-intercept. So dito, pwede namang hindi na talaga din natin gamitin ang properties of equality. So anyway, or by the way, ginamit lang natin siya in order to recall the properties of equality and in order for you to know that we can apply those properties of equality to change the equation into slope-intercept form. Okay, now, so let us have this, our given, 2x plus 3y is equal to 9. Again, our slope-intercept form, okay, y is equal to mx plus b. So, let us have our given equation written in this form. So, syempre, yung 3y, ilalagay natin dito. And then, our 2x, pupunta siya sa other side of the equation. So, the sign will be changed. So, since ito po ay positive, it will becomes negative. Okay, let us see. Ayan. So, it becomes 3y, lagay ko dito, is equal to negative 2x, nilipat, and then copy positive 9. Okay, so it becomes 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. Now, so since we will not apply the properties of equality, let us apply the easiest way. So let us divide both sides by positive 3 to eliminate our numerical coefficient, which is 3. So let us have this. Yan. So we have 3y divided by 3 is equal to negative 2x plus 9 divided by 3. So that is dividing both sides by positive 3. Now, so let's have this. 3y divided by 3. So we can cancel this. It becomes 1. So hindi na naman natin kailangang ilagay siya as 1y, diba? So we can write that as y. Next, let us divide this. Negative 2x divided by 3. So hindi natin ma-divide ng eksakto. So we will write negative 2 over 3x. Okay, I hope nasusundan ako ha. And then positive 9 divided by 3. So meron silang divisibility which is 3. 3 divided by 3, it becomes 1. And then 9 divided by 3, it becomes 3. Okay, so let us write. We have here, copy y. Ito na yon. Ayan. Copy natin yung remaining terms. 1 times y, we have y. And then negative 2x divided by 3, copy natin. Negative 2/3 x. And then 9 divided by 3, yung kanina may divisibility tayo. The remaining term will be positive 3. Now, is it already written in slope-intercept form? Excellent. It is already written in y is equal to mx plus b. Therefore, we can easily find out what is the value of our slope and what is the value of our y-intercept. Now, So let us have our conclusion. So the slope is negative 2 over 3. This is our slope, numerical coefficient of variable x. And the y-intercept, which is our constant, is equal to, b is equal to 3. Okay, so as you can see, we got the same answer but different process. So yung kanina, ginamitan natin ng properties of equality. Ito naman, we use the easiest way. But we arrive on the same answer. So I hope naintindihan kung paano mag-rewrite ng equation into slope-intercept form and also to determine the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, it's your turn, grade 8. So accomplish this learning task number 1 on a sheet of paper. So you need to change the given equation into slope-intercept form. So just like what we did on our given example. So slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. And also, you need to determine the slope and the y-intercept just like what we did on our example. So we have number 1. Y minus 3x plus 2. So as you can see, wala tayo ditong equal sign. So automatic, ang equal sign natin dito ay nasa dulo. So it becomes y minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then for number 2, 2y plus 4x plus 10, ganun din, is equal to 0. And then for number 3, may equal sign tayo. 3x minus y is equal to 8. And then for number 4, x plus 2y is equal to 6. And then for the last number, 4x plus 2y is equal to negative 6. Let us have now the cropping linear equations in two variables. So we have different givens in order to graph the linear equations in two variables. So we have given any 2 points. We have the given are the x and y intercepts. And the given are the slope and a point on the line. Okay, so let us discuss first given any 2 points. So it is very easy to all of you to graph the given 2 points on the Cartesian plane because it is already discussed on our previous lesson. So as you can see, use the 2 points 5 and 0 and 0, 1. So you can easily identify or determine which is our x and our y. So anyway, you already know that our x is the first coordinate, which is 5. Our y coordinate is the second coordinate, which is 0. And then for the second point, we have 0 and then 1. Our x is 0 and our y is 1. So in this given any 2 points, we need to find also the slope of the line containing the given point. So by the way, or before we proceed in finding the slope of the line, let us graph first. So as you can see on page 24 of your learning module, it is already graphed on the Cartesian coordinate plane. So in this part, I will discuss to you bakit ba na-graph ito dito sa Cartesian plane. Paano siya i-graph? So it is just a review on what we have discussed on our previous lesson. So let's have 5 and 0. So on 5 and 0, 5 is our x from the origin, positive 5. We will go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what is our y-intercept? 0. So from here, tataas pa ba tayo, bababa pa ba tayo, o mag-i-stay na lang tayo? Of course, we will stay on this point kasi ang 0 natin ay ito. So katapat na siya. So that will be our first point. How about our second point? 0 and 1. So ang x daw natin ay 0. Divide on 0, so that will be our x. And then our y is 1. So is it going upward or going downward? Okay, very good. So since ang ating y coordinate ay positive, we need to go upward. How many times? 1. So from here, 1. Ayan. So that will be our second point. And then we need to connect the points to create a line. Kasi diba, 2 points determine a line. So that will be our equation of the line. Now that we already graphed the given 2 points on the Cartesian coordinate plane and you already know how to graph the given 2 points on the Cartesian plane, let us find out the slope. Okay, so now, what is the formula in finding the slope? Very good. So the formula in finding the slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so let us identify the values of the given variables. So, di ba, ang ating x sub 1 ay 5, ang ating y sub 1 ay 0, ang ating x sub 2 ay 0, ang ating y sub 2 naman ay 1. So, let us substitute the values of our x and y to our formula. Okay, so let's have this. Y sub 2, 1. Okay, correct. And then y sub 1, that is 0. So, let us substitute. And then all over, x sub 2 is 0. Copy. And then our x sub 1 is 5. Okay, now let us perform the operation. 1 minus 0. Very good. That is 1. How about 0 minus 5? Okay, correct. We have negative 5. So let us divide 1 divided by negative 5. It becomes negative 1 over 5. So that will be the slope for the given 2 points. Okay, now, so we already know the slope of the 2 points. So the line crosses the y-axis at 0, 1. Diba? As you can see on our graph, nag-cross yung ating line dito sa y-axis at 0 and then 1. So the y-intercept is 1. So we need to use 1 as our y-intercept kasi doon nag-cross yung ating line. Okay, so since ang 1 ang ating y-intercept, we can write the equation in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. So again, what is our slope? Yung kinuha natin kanina? Very good. We have negative 1 over 5. So let us substitute. Y, let us write y is equal to our slope. We have negative 1 over 5 and then x. And then our y-intercept, which is 1. So plus 1. So that will be our slope-intercept form for the given 2 points. Now, let us interpret the graph. So as you can see, yung graph natin, siya ay nag-slant. Slant siya from left to right. So what will be the interpretation for this graph? So the graph of the line slants downward. So pababa siya, di ba? Going from left to right. So tatandaan nyo, kapag ang graph ay nag-slant or slants downward from left to right, ang atin pong slope ay negative. So in contrary, kapag siya naman ay rises from left to right, syempre ang atin pong slope ay positive. Okay? And let us have the second way on how to graph linear equations in two variables. So, given the x and y intercepts, so our x-intercept, that is the point x0. So, kukunin natin yung value ng x and then ang value na ng y ay 0. Where the line crosses the x-axis, while the y-intercept is the point 0y. So, may value na tayo ng x, which is 0. We need to find naman the value of our y-coordinate, where the line crosses the y-axis. Now, in order to graph the given equation of the line using these methods, we need to use this 3 steps. So, the first one, find the x-intercept by letting y is equal to 0 and solve for the value of x. So, in the given equation, we need to substitute 0 as the value of our y in order to find the value of our x. And then, we have the second step. We need to find naman the value of our y-intercept by letting x is equal to 0. And then, after substituting the value of x, which is 0, to our equation, we need to solve or in order to solve the value of y. And the third step is to plot both intercepts on the graph and connect with a straight line. Kasi, di ba, 2 points determine a line. Let us have an example. under this given the x and y intercept. So find the x and y intercepts of 2x plus y is equal to 4. So in this case, we need to find out our x and y intercepts in order to plot the given point. So using this equation, let us have if x is equal to 0, so let x is equal to 0, then we need to substitute 0 to this equation. So it becomes 2 times 0 plus y is equal to 4. And then, since 2 times 0 is equal to 0, 0 plus y, that is y. And then the value of our y is equal to 4. So y is equal to 4. Therefore, the y-intercept is 0 and 4. Okay, so I hope nasusundan ang process natin. And then, let us have let y is equal to 0 in order to find the value of our x. So, again, let us substitute the value of y, which is 0, to this equation. So, it becomes 2x plus the value of y, 0, is equal to 4. Okay, now, so since 0, kapag iti-transpose natin siya to the other side of the equation, it does not affect the value of our constant term in the right side of the equation. So therefore, we can ignore this 0, and then let us write 2x is equal to 4. And then in order to find the value of x, we need to divide both sides by 2. So let us write, divide both sides by 2. Okay. So, para maintindihan kung paano ba nakuha yung value ng x. Okay. So, now, since 2 divided by 2, that is equivalent to 1, we can easily cancel that. The remaining term is x. So, let us write x. And then, 4 divided by 2, the answer is 2. So, therefore, our x-intercept is 2 and 0. Okay, now, let us plot that on the Cartesian coordinate plane. So, go to your module and turn to page 25. Okay. So, as you can see on your module, page 25, already graph na siya on the Cartesian plane. Already plotted na on our Cartesian plane. So, paano ba siya na-graph dito? So, let us start with 0 and 4. So, 0 is our x, and then our 4 is our y. So, since ito na yung 0 natin, that will serve as our x. Now, let us graph 4. So, it is moving upward or moving downward? Very good. So, we need to move upward because the sign is positive. So, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that will be our 0.04. Ito po ang ating 0.04. Ayan. And then, the next one, we need to graph to 0. So, to 0, let us have from the origin, our x is 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then our y coordinate is 0. So, tayo pa ba ay tataas? Bababa pa ba tayo? O mag-i-stay tayo dito? Remain dito sa point na to? Yes, we will remain at this point kasi ang 0 ay katapat na natin. So, 2, 0. So, that will be our 2, 0. Okay, so ito na yon. Now, so since we have 2 points na, meron na tayong 2 points, di ba? We need to connect the 2 points to determine a line. So, to create a line. So, kinonect na siya. Ayan. So, that is the equation of the line. Now, so since we have the equation of the line, we have the graph. So from this graph, we can identify or we can find the slope of the line. So that will be discussed on the next slide. Okay, so from our graph at the right, we need to find the slope. So how are we going to find the slope? Did you still remember our previous lesson regarding finding the slope when the given is graph? Alright, so we can find the slope. So how are we going to find the slope? Very good. So that is based on rise over run. Okay, so from this graph, pwede po nating makuha ang rise and run. Okay, let us see. So from this graph, okay, from 0 to 0 rather. From 2, 0, we need to run. So, kailangan nating ruman kasi kailangan tayong tumapat dito. Okay, so run muna yung gagawin natin. So, from here, we need to run to going to the left. So, from here, we have 1, 2. So, nandito na yung ating run. Ayan. So, lagyan ko ng line. Yan. Ito po yung run natin. From here, 1, 2. Tatandaan ha, ang run ay 2. And then from here, para tayo ay makarating doon sa second point, we need to rise. Tataas naman tayo. So, since nag-run tayo to the left, meaning to say, to yung ating value, and that will serve us, or that will becomes negative 2. Kasi ang run natin ay left. Pero kung ang run natin ay right, that is positive. Okay? So, our run will be negative 2. Okay, let us rise from here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, our rise is 4. Ang rise naman natin ngayon ay 4. So, lagay ko dito para hindi malito. Ang rise ay 4. Ang run ay negative 2. Now, since meron na tayong value ng rise and run, we need to substitute this to this formula. Okay, to our formula. So, let us substitute. Ayan. So, now, our run is negative 2. Our rise is positive 4. So, since meron na tayo nito, we need to divide. Okay. So, 4 divided by negative 2, our answer is slope is equal to negative 2. Okay, now, so since ang slope natin ay negative ulit, and this is the illustration of our graph, what will be our interpretation? What do you think? Okay, very good. So the interpretation is the graph slants downward. So from left to right. Okay, so since slants downward siya, therefore, the graph of the line slants downward going from left to right. Okay, kasi ang ating slope ay negative din. Let us have the last way on how to graph the linear equation into variables. So, we have if the given is a slope and a point on the line. Okay, so to graph the given slope and a point on the Cartesian plane, let us consider the following steps. So, the first one, we need to plot the given point. And then, the second one, generate additional points on the line by starting at the given point. So, kung ano yung given point natin, xy, and moving the rise and run of the slope. So, para makuha natin yung pangalawang point natin, we need to consider or we need to apply the rise over run from the given point. Let us have the example for our last way on how to graph linear equation into variables. So that is when the given is slope and a point. So as you can see, our given on our example is the slope and point n, which is negative 3 and negative 2. So following the steps in order to graph when the given is slope and a point, we need to plot first the given point. Okay. So as you can see, we have the graph here. So open your module on page 25. And then you can see that our example is already plotted on the Cartesian plane. So from negative 3 and negative 2, i-plot nga natin. And let us check if the given graph on your module is correct. So from the origin, ayan. So since our x-coordinate is negative 3, we need to move to the left 3 times. So hindi tayo pupunta sa kanan kasi negative ang ating sign. So from here, let us run 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So that is our x. And then for our y, from here, since our y-coordinate is negative 2, we need to decide if we will move upward or move downward. So since our y-coordinate is negative, we need to move downward. So from here, we need to move 2 times. So we have 1, 2. So that will be our first point, or that will be our given point. Now, how are we going to generate additional point? So, from our steps, so on our previous discussion about the steps, so on the previous slide, we can generate additional points on the line by starting at the given point. Okay, so starting from the given point and moving the rise and run up the slope. So since meron tayo ditong given slope, we need to rewrite this as rise over run. So ilagay natin, slope natin is 2. So in fractional natin siya ilalagay kasi 'di ba ang rise over run ay in fraction. So 2 can be written as 2 over 1. And 2 divided by 1, that is also equivalent to 2. So we can rewrite this as 2 over 1. We can identify our rise and we can identify our run. So rise is our numerator and run is our denominator. So now, what is our rise? Very good. So our rise is 2. How about our run? Great. So our run is 1. So therefore, the rise is 2 and the run is 1. So following the steps to graph when the given is a slope and a point, we need to start on the given point. So ito ba, ito ang given point natin. So from here, we need to run 2 times. So since ang ating run ay positive 2, magra-run tayo pataas. Kung siya'y negative 2, magra-run tayo pababa. Okay, so since siya'y positive, we need to run 2 times. So from here, run tayo 1, 2. So ito ngayon yung run natin. Ayan. Tumabis ang run. So from here again, ayan. Ito ang run natin. So 1, 2. Okay, and then let us run. So ang run natin ay 1. So since ang 1 natin ay positive, we will move to the right kasi positive tayo. Kung negative siya, lalakad tayo pakaliwa. So since positive siya, we need to run to the right. So from here, 1. So ito ngayon yung ating run. So ang run natin ay 1 and then ang ating rise ay 2. Ayan. Okay, so since nakuha na natin, ayan, nandito ang ating point. Ito na ngayon yung point natin kasi dito tayo natapos sa pag-run. We need to determine ano ba yung point natin. So by looking on our Cartesian coordinate plane, we can identify the point or the generated point. So as you can see, katapat siya sa x-axis ng negative 2. And then, saan naman siya nakatapat sa y-axis? So it is obviously nakatapat siya sa 0. So therefore, our generated point is negative 2 and 0. Okay. And then, let us interpret the graph. Interpret natin yung graph natin. So since our graph rises from left to right, our slope is positive. So the interpretation of this graph is the graph of the line rises from left to right. So I hope nakatulong ang aking video tutorial for you to fully understand our lesson. So it's your turn, grade 8. So for your learning task number 2 on page 25 of your learning module, for letter A, you need to write the linear equation ax plus by is equal to c in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So y is equal to mx plus b is the slope-intercept form. So just like what I've discussed to you earlier ago, so we discussed about how to translate or how to change the equation into y is equal to mx plus b. So you just need to follow my steps on changing this equation into slope-intercept form. And then for our letter B, you need to write the linear equation y is equal to mx plus b in the form ax plus by is equal to c. So vice versa naman. So kanina, i-rewrite natin siya into slope-intercept form. Ngayon naman, i-rewrite natin siya into standard form. So from here, we need to write this in standard form. Okay. Okay, so for your learning task number 3, you need to graph the linear equations given the following details at the right. So for letter A, using 2 points. So you just need to graph this 2 points, and then you need to find the slope of each line. So, and also you need to describe the graph. If it is slants downward from left to right, or it rises downward, it rises from left to right. And then for letter B, you need to graph also using the intercept. So, already generated na ang intercepts natin. So, all you need to do is to graph that on the Cartesian plane, and then you need to find the slope and describe also the graph. And then for our letter C, using slope and a point. So, binigay na ang slope, nandyan din ang point. You just need to graph that on the Cartesian plane. And then for your learning task number 4, last task for this session, you need to read and analyze the problem carefully, then do what is asked on the problem. So our problem is Rowie is tracking the progress of her plant's growth. Today, the plant is 5 centimeter high. The plant grows 2 centimeter per day. So you need to analyze the problem, and you need to answer, or you need to give what is asked on the problem. So for letter A, you need to write a linear model that represents the height of the plant after X days. So probably that is a linear equation. And then for letter B, what will be the height of the plant be after 20 days? And then for the last one, you need to graph the number of days against the growth of the plants. After accomplishing your learning task, you need to accomplish this reflection part. So this time, you may write your personal insights about the lesson by completing the following sentence prompts, and then write your answer on an intermediate paper. So we have, I understand that, I realized that, I wish to ask my teacher about. And then after that, you need to answer the provided personal assessment on learner's level of performance for week 5. Thank you so much, grade 8. See you next time.